Word problem.
Hey guys, welcome to your next video.
This one is on
we're actually going to move relationships.
Looking at this word problem and kind of dissecting it. So it says a bicycle rental company charges $18 to rent a bicycle plus $7 for every 2 hours of rental word problem. So I want you to underline a couple of things. First thing would be charges $18 to rent a bike. Now that you've written down the word problem and the essential question,
that's just an
$18 flat
we're
rate.
Actually going to move on
and then $7 for every
looking at this word problem and kind of dissecting it.
So it says a bicycle rental company charges $18 to rent a bicycle plus $7 for every 2 hours of rental time. So I want you to underline a couple things. First thing would be charges $18 to rent a bike.
So we will eventually have to figure out what it is for 1 hour.
So that's just an $18 flat rate.
Let's start
and then $7
by looking at a
for every
table.
2
Okay,
hours.
so we have our table right here. Go ahead and draw a quick
2
table.
hours. So we'd have to figure out what it is for 1 hour.
And our x-axis and our y-axis are on here, or our x values and our y values. So our x will actually be our hours rented, and then our y is actually our cost.
So we will eventually have to figure out what it is for 1 hour.
And this would be our y.
So let's start.
So we're
by
just going to
looking at a
simply
table,
fill this in.
So we have our table right here.
So
go ahead and draw
if
a
we
quick
rented
table.
this bike for 0 hours,
and our
if I
x
just
went
went
up to
up
this
and our
bicycle
y-axis
rental
are
company
on
and
here,
said, I
our
want a
x
bike,
values
and then
and
I
our
returned
y
it 5
values.
minutes
So
later,
our x will
I would
actually
still be
be
charged
our
this
hours
$18.
rented, and then
The
our
reason for
y
that
is
is because it's
actually our
$18
cost.
just to rent the bike,
Okay,
and
so
then
this would be our
$7 for every
x,
2
and
hours.
this would be our y.
So the cost for
So we're just going to simply fill
hours
this in.
rented is still $18.
So if we rented this bike for 0 hours,
Now let's
if
say I
just
rented
went
it
up
for
to this
2
bicycle
hours.
rental company
Okay,
and said, I want a bike, and then I returned it 5 minutes later,
$7 for 2
I would still be
hours.
charged
So
this
I'm actually
$18.
adding $7
The reason for
on
that is
here.
because it's
So
$18
this
just to rent
$7
the
would
bike,
actually
and then
be,
$7
or this
for every 2
$18
hours.
would actually be
So,
increased
the
by
cost
7
for 0
So you would just do
hours
18
rented
is
plus
still
7,
$18,
which comes out to 25.
Now let's say I rented it for 2 hours.
Okay, and then if I
Okay, I
rented
still
the
have
bike
that
for 4 hours,
$18,
I would
but
do
then
the
it's
same thing,
$7 for
25
2
plus
hours.
7,
So I'm actually adding $7
would come out
on
to
here.
32.
So this $7 would actually be, or this $18 would actually
and then
be
if I rented it
increased
for
by
6
7.
hours,
The exact same
so you
thing.
would just do
32
18
plus
plus
7, which comes out to 25.
Okay, and then if I rented the
Okay,
bike
and
for
then
4
one more
hours,
time,
I would
plus
do the
7
same thing.
for
35
plus
plus
7 for 8 hours
would come out
that
to
would
32.
come out to 46. So this is the amount of dollars you
Okay,
spend.
and then if I rented it for 6
and
hours,
this is the amount of
exact
hours
same
you
thing,
rent the bike.
32
plus 7.
So if I were to graph this
Come out to
on
39.
a graph, what I would be looking for first
Okay, and
is
then
where
one more time,
does
plus
the y
7 for
intercept?
39
Where's the
plus
y
7
intercept? So remember our y
for 8
intercept in our
hours,
equation
that
of
would
y
come out
equals
to
mx plus b
46.
is actually the b. So where is our b?
So
at?
this is the amount of
It is where
dollars you
x
spend.
equals 0 on a
Okay.
table.
And this is the amount of hours you
So
rent
right
the bike.
here, So if I were to
is our
if I were to
y-intercept.
graph this on a graph,
Or our b.
what I would be looking for first is where
So that's
does the y
18.
intercept at?
So
Where's the y
we
intercept? So
automatically
remember our
know
y
our
intercept in
graph
our
is going to
equation
start
of y
at
equals mx
18.
plus b is actually
Right
the
here,
b.
right
So
below
where is
20.
our b at? It is
Doesn't
where
have to be
x equals
perfect,
0
but
on
just
a
do the
table.
best you
can to find 18 on your graph.
So right here. So now we would just
our
fill these in as
y-intercept.
x and y points on a graph like a coordinate,
Right,
right? So we
b.
have 2 and 25.
Okay.
So we go 2 and then
So
we
that's
go right here to
18.
25. So we automatically
And once
know
again, I
our
know since
graph
you don't
is
have
going to
graph paper,
start
it's not going to be
at
perfect, but just
18.
do the best you can.
Right here, right below 20.
Okay, then we're going to go to 4.
Doesn't have to be
and
perfect,
we're going to do
but just
32.
do the best
you can to find 18 on your graph.
So 4. So now we would just fill these in as x and y
here.
points on a graph like
And
a
then
coordinate,
6
right?
is
So we have
39.
2 and 25. So we go 2 and then we go right here to 25. Okay, 8 is
And once again, I know
46.
since you don't have graph paper, it's not going to be perfect, but just do the best you can.
So that would
Okay, then
be
we're going
right
to go to
about-
4, and we're going to do 32.
So 4
Here. And then 10,
would be right around
if I were to
here.
extend this a little
And
further,
then 6 is 39.
10 would actually be,
Okay, 8 is
so
46.
we'd add 7 more to this. So let's just go ahead and add one more on here.
So that would be right
10.
about, so 46 plus 7 here. And I want
And
you
then
to plot
10,
that 10 by yourself here.
If
okay?
I were to extend this a little further, 10 would actually be, so we'd add 7
now
more to
we're
this.
gonna go ahead and draw a
Yeah,
graph.
so let's just go ahead and add
So
one
make
more
sure
on
you
here.
do fill
So
in this
so
y
10,
for the cost of
so
what it would cost for
46
10 hours to rent the
plus
bike. Okay?
7.
And
So
I want
now
you
we're
to
just
plot
going to
that
draw
10
this
by
line. We're
yourself
just going to
here, okay?
connect this line, okay,
All these dots will make a line. So we're going to connect all these dots, make a line, and this goes on forever. Okay? So now
straight line,
we're going to go ahead and draw a graph. So make sure you do fill in
And
this
now we
y
need the
for
equation.
the cost of what it would cost for 10 hours to rent the bike, okay? So now we're just going to draw this line. We're just going to connect this line. So I know that you know
all these
that
dots
the
will make a line.
is
So
where
we're
the
gonna
y-intercept
connect all these
is.
dots, make a line,
And this
and
goes on
that's
forever.
where x equals
okay?
0 on the table. So
we already know
it's a
that our
straight line
b
that
goes on
18.
forever. Okay? We need to figure out what the m
And now
is.
we need the equation.
Because in our equation, the x will stay there. So what is our m? M is our slope. M is how much it increases for every one x.
So I know that
so we
you
have
know
2
that the
here.
b
is
So
where the
remember,
y-intercept is.
it's
Y divided by x for our
and
slope.
that's
So
where
if we're
x
gonna
equals
divide
0 on the
y
table.
by
So
x,
we already
know that our b is 18. Okay? We need to figure out what the m is. Because in our equation, the x will stay there. So what is our m? M is our slope. M is how much it increases for every one x. Okay, so it's actually the change in y over the change in x, right? So if I were to divide the change in y over the change in x, we know that it increases 7 every time on the y-axis. It increases 2 every time on the x, right? So we would just simply divide 7 by 2. And that would be 3.5. So now our slope is 3.5. Okay, so our equation looks like this. Y equals 3.5x plus 18.